the clouds, I'm living this flight. Dad on duty, coffee brewed just right. Jet set mornings, family nights. Come right along, it's a sky high life. Oh, take off with Alex, let's go. Travel tips and...
Hey y'all, welcome to Take Off with Alex. Thank you so much for all of you who submitted questions. I'm going to do a little Q&A. I have written out the questions, but to tell you that I have thought through them would be a lie. So my wife Emma, she's here to help me move through the questions. We'll see how this goes just because I'm getting used to it. So I'll probably giggle a good amount, but that's good. Also, just so you're aware, it's a sweet tea, not a big glass of bourbon. You'll notice there is one ice cube because I don't really like ice chips. You'll notice I get light ice at Starbucks. And I prefer to drink my bourbon with one ice cube, so I've started doing so with my sweet tea. Emma, take it away.
All right. For those who don't know, you used to be a teacher, but the question is, what age level did you teach?
Great question. Round 2. We tried this earlier, and the mic died. But anyway, I was an elementary school teacher. I have a license that goes K to 6, and I taught 3rd grade for 4 years and 4th for 1 year. Absolutely love 3rd grade. I really thought during student teaching that I wanted to teach 4th or 5th, but 3rd stole my heart.
Your next question is, what was it like being a teacher, and why did you change careers?
Being a teacher is like, as I think many a teacher would agree, driving a bus, but the bus is on fire and there are a bunch of chickens with the children on the bus and everyone is screaming and only you know what to do, but not everything is working like it's supposed to, even though you've done all the maintenance you can. A lot of children were keeping me up late at night. Let's fix this. Teaching in general is just very busy. I was self-contained, so I taught everything to the same group of students. They had specials once a day for 45 minutes to an hour, so I was with them all day long, minus lunchtime, which I did have a break, which I'm very grateful I never had lunch duty, but it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed trying to make learning exciting. If you look back at my Instagram feed, there's, me dressed up as a doctor, which now post-pandemic is a little traumatizing probably, but we did a lot of things to try to bring various hard concepts to life and to understanding. So that was the fun part where I could be creative, we could have a lot of fun. But when it came down to administrative tasks, testing students, parents, administrative support, there was so much going on. And some of those kids that really needed help could never get it, A, due to funding, B, due to parents intercepting and stopping it. We often called them helicopters or lawnmowers. And so there were quite a few students in particular I can think of that would just keep me up late at night, and we would intervene, but parents, whether it was due to pride or just like what they had been taught growing up, intervened and, for lack of a better word, did not help their children in the way the school was advocating. And so it got to a point where I was staying up late. I was doing all of this work. I was losing time with my kids. It became time to step away. And I've wanted to be in aviation since I was 10 years old. I took a flight as an unaccompanied minor, ironically, on Southwest. And I fell in love upon takeoff and landing, which are still my favorite parts of flight. Just with the whole process. So I love my job. I love what I do. Both my wife and I were really worried that I was not going to enjoy it, that I was going to burn out. And in the last few months, there have been some hiccups, partially just because I commute, which means that I don't live in my base, and that's been hard. But other than that, I get to work and I love what I do. So I changed careers because I was burning out teaching. Like I was done. I was staying up late. I wanted to be home more with my kids. And now, like when I'm off, I don't have any extra paperwork unless a medical happens. And I try to do that on my commute fly home. Or something else crazy, but we have yet to have that, and God willing, we will never have that. So I've been partially in the process of becoming a pilot. We're trying to finish that up. We've had quite a few hiccups. We're going to get there. It's a long, drawn out process for me. Some could say that's an excuse. Sure, we'll put it as an excuse. I will get it done. And if we want to talk about what that actually looks like, we could talk about that in detail one-on-one, but I'm not going to put that all over the internet.
What advice do you have for someone who's new to the career?
Make sure to take care of you. So when you first start out as a flight attendant, you're not making a lot of money. For those of you that don't know, we're not paid for our full duty day. Both flight attendants and pilots, we check in. We are not paid until the door. At my airline, actually, the brake has to be released and you have to be moving. Our pay starts or ends when we open the door. So it's tricky. You're gone. You're on weird sleep schedules, especially now that we have red eyes. So just take care of you. Make sure you're sleeping. Make sure you stay hydrated in the air that's hard. You lose water faster up at altitude. And make sure that you're eating, which can also be hard on that budget. Make sure you're eating well. Get those fruits, those vegetables, the protein. I try to pack protein heavy because that fills me up and keeps me moving. My airline, we have small turn times, which means from the time the door opens to the time the door closes, we do not have much time on the ground. And those 4-leg days can be hard. So just alternate with flight attendants that you're working with if you can, especially if you're C or B or D. A is a little trickier, but you'll know what I'm talking about. See if you can eat in the back alley for a moment. Obviously, be paying attention to your duties, right? We have to be following FAA and company guidelines, but if you need to eat in the back quickly as we're going, just make sure to take care of yourself.
How is the recurrent process for your airline?
So at every airline, we have to make sure that we're not requalified, that we go through certain training each year just to make sure that we're good on everything we need to know according to the FAA. So we have certain online training we have to do. I think this year people said it was 19 videos. It was boring. It's long. I don't do them when I'm sleepy because I will fall asleep. And they have them purposefully so that if you fall asleep, you don't get very far, which is good and obviously bad. And you can infer however you want there, but I'm going to stick to my FAA guidelines. Obviously, we want to make sure that you know everything going into recurrent. It is very important. You need to know those evacuation commands. You need to make sure that you're following FAA rules and your flight attendant manual. And then obviously for pilots, that's a whole other story. Some airlines, it's every 18 months. My airline, it's every 12 months you go through recurrent. It's not hard. The trainers, support you through it. We go through some scenarios. You go through some safety information. We meet with the pilots and just talk about some things that have been going on between the work groups. It's very helpful. We all kind of dread the day coming up because, you have to practice those evacuations. You have to practice various things that we don't always practice. You should be reviewing them in your head, but makes us a little nervous. So for me, I know that once it's done, it's out of the way. I'm never worried about not passing. The company's invested a lot of money in us. They don't want us to not pass. So they're not looking for that. They are making sure, obviously, that we know how to do the basic things that we do on the daily. So we're well trained, well equipped. It's really just a day to make sure that you have all that information fresh and that you're getting any updates that have been happening. They changed our evacuation commands this year, so that was we were all it was like a soup sandwich. But by next year, they have to be 100% solidified. So it's good for us to get in and change things up.
Have you been married the whole time that you've been a flight attendant?
When you asked that question was hilarious. Have you been? Yes, I have been married the whole time. Emma and I got married 8 years ago. I've been a flight attendant for 3 years. Can't believe we've been married that long. It feels like forever, and also like it's flown by. But she's actually the one who pushed me to apply. So I applied to another airline before COVID. I got far along in the process, did not get that job, and honestly, it was a blessing in disguise. We got pregnant soon after, and COVID happened, so I wouldn't have had a job. Teaching was probably the best job I could have had during COVID, from my experience. I know a lot of other people could have said that it was awful. It was weird, it was crazy, but I got to spend a lot more time with my oldest, so that was really cool. But when Southwest opened up applications, we chatted about it. She's like, you got to apply. Like, we were getting ready to move to South Carolina. I was going to take a $10,000 pay cut. She's like, we might as well just swap everything. So we did. And I am much happier, minus that I hate commuting. I hate commuting. I enjoy being on the plane, but I don't love leaving early. And I don't always love coming back late. So it's a both and, a double-edged sword.
Is it hard being away from home so much as a dad, and how do you manage it?
So this is a loaded question. I would have said it was prior to April. Southwest made it very easy for us to change our schedules. In April, they made some changes, and it has been very difficult to change our schedules at this point. It's become very costly. We can trade and pay each other to take trips, which can help with hotels or, monthly bills, whatever it may be. And that's nice. Company's not even involved in that. If they, there was an issue, they don't even want to hear about it, which is fine. Other airlines, you can't do that. It helps, you get rid of a trip if you really want to put some extra money on it. But we've lost a lot of that flexibility since April. It's been much harder to get rid of things. I've been able to move things around, but we'll see. It's getting harder. And mostly because, people are fatigued. We're in the middle of our busy season, and we're all exhausted. They're working us long days, and it's just been harder to be away from home because the days are so long. And so far, I've been able to be home for the big things. For smaller things, my wife FaceTimes me in, I send a video, we send pictures, little voice message. And that's not too hard, but depending on how this scheduling continues, it could become difficult, which may just push me to pilot more, sell all my trips and pilot and get this done. Unfortunately, at my airline, we don't currently have a good pilot pathway. For those that are currently employed, I actually have to quit my job in order to go through their pathway, and then it takes like 3-4 years before you're really making a good amount of money. So it's a both and. I'm grateful for who I work for. There is the possibility of a lot of flexibility. As of right now, we don't have a lot of that.
Do you want to share any more about how you, our kids, they've always experienced you being a flight attendant from their memory, so.
What do you mean? I mean, it's just like dad's leaving. I'm getting ready for my trip. They'll help me cook.
Their kids also love to travel.
The kids absolutely love that I'm a flight attendant because they get to travel for free. They know the planes in and out. They're very good travelers. I'm, of course, biased, but, they don't come in, destroy a plane. They come in, they're quiet. Their snacks stay in their snack container. It's very civilized. But, I mean, they just manage it well. I'm coming, I'm going. Sometimes it's hard because I'm home for a day and then I have to turn around. And that is never fun for any of us. You'll see me complain the most on those days. But that too should change, especially once I'm no longer a flight attendant or I'm higher on the pay scale.
You do a bed bug check in all the videos. Have you encountered any bed bugs, and why do you do the check?
Really good question. I have not encountered any bed bugs, thank goodness, at least that I'm aware of. I should know about them. But before I became a flight attendant, I was following a variety of vloggers, Court to Fly, who all of them worked for the airline I work for. Court to Fly no longer does, but I followed her. I follow Elizabeth, Flygal, 737, and Martha at My Moxie Life, and just kind of got, what am I getting myself into? What can I learn before I go to training? It was super helpful. It really helped me succeed before I went to training, or as I got to training, and I had learned a little bit about how my airline works. But I want to say Court to Fly recommended a bed bug check, and just kind of like a security sweep of the room. And so I have stuck to that just because our hotels, the places my airline currently puts us, they're not really in a place where you would expect there to be bed bugs, but just being in the travel industry, having worked in a hotel, they do come in with people. And it's not that people are dirty. It's you sat in a soft seat somewhere, you picked one up, now we have an infestation. And it happens quick, which is why I check for them. We have a variety of things going on at our home, a home business, and it would cause havoc to have to shut down for a week due to bed bugs. So it's just more preemptive and preventative than reactive, and making sure I don't bring them home.
What's your gym routine?
Y'all listen. When I can afford a personal trainer, that will be happening. But as of right now, my gym routine is hop around to various machines. Except for ab day, I do a variety of different ab things. But often I do like a chest and an ab day, and then a leg day, which often includes the stair climber. And then there's a arms and back day. Now, so many people do it push and pull and a variety of other things. I don't have it down to a science yet, and I'm so glad that I make it look like I do, but I do not. There's somebody I follow that uses the app called Shred, and that seems to really work for them. You can create like a group there. So it's something I'm looking into, and that has like workouts that you can do regularly. But I do not have, besides being like the chest, leg, I don't have a super good methodology to it. I rotate through a variety of things. I know it seems to be working for me. I am sore today. Not that that's a good way to tell whether you were doing something correctly or not. But yeah, we're working on it. So that's that.
If anybody is a personal trainer, maybe reach out. All right. Do you have a favorite recipe that you've made recently?
I'm trying to think of like food that I've made recently. I made a dairy-free minus the cheese. Cheese had dairy. Chicken Alfredo recently. That was pretty good. I also, a few months ago, made a ramen carbonara that I got off of Instagram. Also delicious. But if I had to go to one thing I've really enjoyed that I was supposed to make like the last 3 days, it's a sourdough coffee cake. That's my favorite recipe. And it's not super sourdoughy. It's actually very sweet, very high in sugar, but it is so good. And I just got called in to work to the hotel tonight. So I was going to make some, but joke's on me. That is not going to be happening tonight. Yeah. Do you have a favorite recipe that I made recently? Because
A new one? No, not a new one. But you have a lot of good recipes in general. I'm always amazed by you.
But also, like, don't ever ask me for a recipe because I'm going to hand you one and it's not going to taste anything like the thing I made. And I'm not going to be able to tell you how to make it because it's all estimation. I just toss things into a pot and a pan and we say a prayer. And often it comes out pretty good. So you can ask for a recipe and I'll do my best, but just know it's never going to be the same. So sorry about that.
And also, you're the cook in our family, so when you're home, the kids always think we're eating fancy food. All right, your last question for tonight is: do you have a favorite coffee shop from your travels?
This is so hard because, like, no. It's been really hard for me to find one that I'm like, oh, actually, that is a lie. That is a true lie. It's just been a while since I've been to this city. So first off, Lodi in Charleston, by hands down, my favorite. It's a drive-through. That's the only bummer, but I totally understand it keeps costs lower. You don't have to keep the, that cafe area clean. Hands down, my favorite. Homemade syrups, really good homemade croissants. It's just like the whole 9 yards. But Alpha Coffee in Salt Lake City, Utah-based, absolutely delicious. They have a Viking coffee. It has butter in it. Oh, it's so good. Butter. It's heavy, but so good. I also love any kind of homemade syrup that has bourbon-esque flavors. A little bit of like salt toffee is great. Caramel can be hit or miss. It has to be real. I don't want fake caramel. But Alpha Coffee at this point, I think if I really had to go for a top, that would be it. Yeah. So thanks so much for watching. If you have more questions, please put them in the comments. If you have comments on my answers, put them in the comments. Appreciate you being here, and maybe we'll do a live Q&A sometime in the near future. Maybe. That's a little crazy, but we're getting there. So have a great week.
Travel tips and behind the row. Wheels up, let the good vibes flow. Take off with Alex, your window seat show. Woo!